Welcome to Football Scientific. I am the professor of football, Aaron Sauter. I am here to show you some odds and ends from the NFL and the CFL, and looking at a bowl game tonight, Xbox Bowl, the Xbox Bowl, and the big matchup between the LA Rams and Seattle Seahawks tonight. It's got some news that they're out there. We're going to do it early because I got a couple more articles to write today. All I did is write one about the new Tiger Cats director of player personnel on CFLnewshub.com. I also wrote an article yesterday about A.J. McCarron becoming the head coach at Birmingham, and today he did become the head coach at Birmingham for the Stallions. So those are all stories on CFLnewshub.com and UFLnewshub.com. Yesterday I released my NFL power, maybe this morning at 7:30, we released my NFL power rankings for every NFL team entering Week 16 on FootballAnalysisOne.com. So it's been a busy time. I just wanted to get to some odds and ends. I'm going to make a few TikToks today about this Xbox Bowl and this LA Rams Seattle Seahawks game, breaking down our scouting report for that. So you can see that on TikTok. And then that's it. I'm just going to go through that, and then tomorrow we'll see what happens. So that is the plan for today on Football Scientific. I'm joined by my guest host, Tyler the Tiger. Tyler the Tiger here, ready to go. I guess we're going to do this NFL show again. Another one. I like that. Another odds and ends. Yeah, well, some things have happened. And CFL's included in that? Yeah, CFL's included in that. And then we got the LA Rams Seattle Seahawks game and the Xbox Bowl. Oh, the Xbox Bowl. That's new, I guess. It is new. Cool. Is it going to be a good game? It should be a good game. You have two wide open offenses of Missouri State and Arkansas State. I think it will be a fun game. Cool. All right. Professor, do you look tired? According to you, I do. I always look tired according to you. You do. You're so old and tired. Why are you so old and tired? You know what would make you feel younger and less tired? What's that? W energy. Yes, that's right. W energy. W energy is so yummy. Yummy, 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 yummy. And it doesn't give you the jitters, and it doesn't make you angsty. You want to try some? You know I do. I try some every day. Yeah, let's do it. Let's show them our swag, too. Here we go. Okay, grab the swag. Okay, there it is. The W swag. W, got our W. Got our W. We got our W. Got our W, and we're just going to drink it real quick. Drink it real quick. Do it. Okay, here we go. Ugh. Okay, all right, man. Wow, man, that is great stuff. I love W Energy drink. It is amazingly good. W Energy, check it out. On our comments or description or whatever, we have a link to W Energy, and we have our promo code. Football Scientific, all caps, no spaces, and you get 10% off your order if you buy from W Energy. You want some clean energy? Let's do it. Let's buy some W Energy. Let's go. Let's break it down. Okay, all right. Let's break it down. All right, so here we go. First, some NFL odds and ends. As we mentioned, Minnesota Vikings placed outside linebacker Jonathan Grenard and safety Josh Metellus on season-ending IR. They're done, okay? Miami Dolphins signed linebacker Jackson Woodard and to the active roster off the Houston Texans practice squad. They waived linebacker Matthew Judon. Goodbye, Judon, and hello, Jackson Woodard. He's getting an opportunity. That's good to see. Las Vegas Raiders, per head coach Pete Carroll, says that most likely Geno Smith will start against the Texans this week. I guess they're going to sacrifice Geno Smith to the Texans instead of Kenny Pickett. I mean, Kenny Pickett was horrible last week. 75 total yards against the Eagles. And the Texans defense is better than that. Mental note. I guess they're going to say Geno Smith couldn't be worse. Green Bay Packers place Micah Parsons on the IR. ACL tear done for the year. He's on the IR officially. He's not going to play anymore this year at all. New Orleans Saints head coach Kellen Mond has ruled out running back Devin Neal, who got injured last week, and wide receiver Devon Belay, who's a decent special team playmaker. LA Rams wide receiver Devontae Adams is doubtful for Thursday night's game. So if you're a fantasy person, you may not want to start Devontae Adams for the Rams. He might be out. Okay. Now he's doubtful. He might play too. Usually doubtful is they're going to play. But I mean, they questionable, so it's like, which one is it, y'all? Pick one. They didn't pick either, so they kind of said maybe. Philadelphia Eagles, they had no practice for defensive lineman Jalen Carter, Landon Dickerson, and offensive tackle Lane Johnson yesterday. The New Orleans Saints signed veteran running back Nyheim Hines to their practice squad. He's probably going to end up playing for them because they're running out of running backs. You got Kamara down, you got Neal down. Now you're trying to get. He's at least a veteran. You're going to try to get Nyheim Hines in there to keep it going. Although they've been winning, even though these running backs injuries have been happening. Because Tyler Shuck's been running the ball, Boom. Seattle Seahawks ruled out offensive tackle Charles Cross for the Rams game tonight, so you're going to be down on linemen. Okay. And the UFL, some big moves. So I mentioned on UFLNewsHub.com yesterday, I read an article about A.J. McCarron stepping out of the lieutenant governor's race in Alabama to what everyone expected him to do is become the next head coach of the Birmingham Stallions, and he did. So he's the next head coach. It looks like the UFL is trying to get very popular ex-players as the head coaches. Just generate some buzz. It might make for a more exciting league because you got all these old NFL guys who like to manage the game and don't want to lose, and they're very risk adverse. But these other guys who they're just players. They might be much more wide open, which will be a more fun league. I always feel like the UFL is very boring compared to the CFL. And they have a lot of different rules and stuff, but I just think the approach is different. It's kind of boring. So A.J. McCarron is the next head coach of the Birmingham Stallions. He's the youngest head coach currently in professional football at 35 years old. Columbus Aviators hired Tedd Ginn Jr. From Ohio State. Wide receiver, kick returner, and he played in the NFL for the Dolphins. Tedd Ginn Jr. is now their head coach. I hope Tim Tebow is the Orlando Storm head coach. That would be pretty cool. Get Tim Tebow to be the Orlando Storm head coach. I'd love to cover that team then. CFL moves. Calgary Stampeders re-signed national kicker. They reworked his contract. They didn't re-sign him. They reworked his contract for national kicker Rene Orini, if you're Canadian, Paredes. They signed American running back Dedrick Mills. Okay, so they have Dedrick Mills now. Montreal Alouettes reworked the contract of center, national offensive lineman Pierre-Olivier Lestage. Okay, they signed American defensive back Najee Murray, and they signed American running back Aaron Champlin. And then Tigercats made some moves. First, late last night, they announced that they had signed Brock Sunderland, who had been an assistant general manager, I believe, or player personnel director or something for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That's how they got Ted Givey as their general manager. They picked someone up from the front office of the Blue Bombers. He's not the general manager, but he is the senior director of player personnel now for the Tigercats. So I wrote an article about that on CFLNewsHub.com this morning. And then just before we started doing this episode of Football Scientific, so I haven't read an article yet, but I will as soon as we get done with this. Hamilton Tigercats have signed national wide receiver Shedler Furvius from the Montreal Alouettes. Okay, that's going to give them another wide receiver. That's pretty good. There's keep loading up that offense. That's good. Winnipeg Blue Bombers signed American wide receiver Gerald Monroe, one of the two. They extend national running back Brady Oliveira. He's a key piece for Winnipeg. Saskatchewan Roughriders signed national offensive lineman Dayton Black, who was once a first-round draft pick for the Hamilton Tigercats. He hasn't done anything in the CFL. He did play at University of Saskatchewan Huskies. So I mean, he's going back home pretty much to Saskatchewan. They signed American defensive lineman Devin Adams, and they signed national running back Thomas Bertrand. Okay, Hudon. All right. BC Lions signed American defensive back Tyson Russell, and they signed national linebacker Adam Corinne. Okay, all right. So that is your CFL additions. Here's a quick breakdown of this LA Rams Seattle Seahawks game tonight on Thursday Night Football. First, if the Rams want to win this game, they got to pressure Sam Darnold in the pocket from the interior part of the pocket. Last time the Rams and the Seattle Seahawks played, the Rams won by 2 points after Darnold threw 4 interceptions. He doesn't do well with pressure in his face. With that pressure in his face, they need to force turnovers. They need to play tight pass coverage to make him hold the ball. They need to control the line of scrimmage on defense so that Seahawks can't just run over them. And they need to stay efficient on offense. So they need to make sure Matt Stafford's comfortable in doing his thing, not turning the ball over. That's not his thing. When he does that, they lose. Seattle Seahawks, keys to win, keys to victory. They need to win on early downs to stay ahead of the chain, so not just seeing full-out pressures all the time. They need to lean on the ground game to set up the pass. They need to protect Sam Darnold, especially on the interior part, because they're in his face. He doesn't do well with people in his face. He steps up well if it comes off the edge, but he does not do well with people in his face. He'll just throw a pick, man. Then they protect the ball while on offense that the Seahawks are going to win this game. We predict the Seahawks are going to win 24-21. DraftKings says Seahawks win by 1.5. We agree. So we're taking the money line on the Seahawks and the over 42.5 at 45 points. That's the over. And then tonight is the Xbox Bowl in college football. We have the Arkansas State Red Wolves at Missouri State Bears. This is Missouri State's first year in FBS football, and they're already in bowl games. So that's not saying much. There's like 1,000 bowl games. Xbox Bowl, seriously. But both these teams have explosive offenses, so it should be a fun game to watch at least. That's tonight at 9 o'clock, I think. Arkansas State. They want to win this game. They're an air raid team. They need to control the game with high volume passing. They throw the ball a ton. And that means also they lengthen the game. Their incompletions lengthen the game. They want to score a bunch of points. They got to protect the football so they're not turning it over. They got to win if you're a high scoring team, you're not going to win if you turn the ball over. Okay. Wide receiver Corey Rucker needs to have a big game for them, and they need to start passing off. They need to jump out of the gate and get a big lead on Missouri and force Missouri to chase them. Missouri State, they need to be efficient in the red zone. They need to attack Arkansas State's pass defense. So they're going to have to get vertical. They have to get vertical, and you got to put the ball in the end zone when you get a chance. They need to stay balanced. Like when they're on defense, they got to keep the game in front of them. Don't give up big plays. Don't over adjust. Okay, all right, and then finally. So they got to be available. You can't make this a shootout. If they make it a shootout, they're going to lose this game. Arkansas State's built to win a shootout. So, don't do that. And that previous one was stay composed in a one-score game. Because this is expected to be a close game. Both these teams don't play much defense, and they have fired-up offenses, which is how they got to a bowl game. They got enough wins to get to a bowl game just by flinging it. So now you got to make sure you keep flinging it when things get tense. Because what bad teams, is they when they get in trouble or get in a close game, they start to revert back to being bad, and then they lose. And that's how that happens. So you can have a good team that is fired up and free flowing, and then they suddenly turn bad because they shut it down when they get scared to lose. And Missouri State can't do that, but we think they will not. We think Missouri State wins this game 31-28. Air raid teams never win big games. No offense to air raid teams anywhere. I like air raid offense personally. But they never win big games. So, all right, Missouri State's going to win that game. That is the end of the football scientific portal for today. I'm going to make a short on that Rams-Seattle game and make a couple TikToks about these scatter reports. Check them out. And then W Energy is all over us. W Energy is all over us right there. W Energy, check it out. Remember, in the description, I have the link. And our promo code Football Scientific, all caps, no spaces, for 10% off your order to W Energy. It's great stuff. Check out footballanalysis1.com for my power rankings article for the NFL. Check out CFLnewshub.com. I'll be writing an article about this new receiver here in just a few minutes. And then check out UFLnewshub.com to see how AJ McCarron is now the head coach of Birmingham. So that should be pretty fun. And that is the show for today. So let's close this football scientific portal.